Well there, lads and lasses, welcome back to a new video. Yeah, got a bit of a naggy easterly, hot bright conditions. Got a nice river behind me. Hopefully there's a willing fish or chub about. Got the Darent Valley specialist Quivertip, 8 foot. I've got worms, I've got cheese paste and I've got bread. And we are going on this fine, it's nice to see a bit of sun on this fine day. Might be a bit too fine. Nice to see a bit of sun, but we are going to go chub hunting. And hopefully in one of these swims, in these conditions, which do favour nicking a bite rather than conducive to getting a few bites. But who knows? Play your cards well and you might. Anyway, less of the waffle, more of the rod action. Let's get fishing. Well, I can tell you right now we're not off to a good start. I've managed to lose an item of tackle. Swear that I brought it with me on the trip, definitely had it. I've only come into this swim, this is the first swim, and I can't find it. I've just spent the best part of an hour and a half before fishing looking all around, and I can't find it. Well, there you go. So if anyone finds a who fishes along here, anyone finds a stool, it's the guy who don't normally use a stool that often, who needed a stool and wanted a stool today, who's lost a stool. Not a good sign. Not good karma. bloody knew it, mate. I knew it. I knew it. He knew it. Everyone bloody knew it. Not a huge one, but a chevin nonetheless in bright conditions. Well, there we go. Pretty as a picture. Well, I guess guesstimate around about £2 or thereabouts on a trip where your mojo's a bit off. I've lost my fishing store, as I said earlier. Getting some wary knocks in this swim. A few recasts in and change of bait shape and a little dislodge prior. Eventually got me a decent knock. And yeah, happy to have had this one. It is in perfect condition. As I say, it's not huge. Pull myself back. Around about £2 to £2.5 would be my estimate. But very nice to have. Let's crack on and see if there's some of its larger cousins about. Just working the bait down to there. That little feature down there. Tetchy bites, real tetchy, real tremblers, not the kind of bites you want, but the kind of bites you're going to get sometimes. Real tetchy that. Okay, mate, let's see how clever you are. Sometimes what you do is you adjust the line. By that I mean the line of how far you're casting, different lengths, etc. So I'm just going to go a bit shorter. Just drop through. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice fish bite, Velvet. That was a nice bite. Told you guys. Got to be a safe cracker. You know what I mean? Really have got to be a safe cracker at times. Oh, I don't feel bad. Oh, yeah, that's a nice fish. Lovely. That's a nice fish. I told you what I was trying to explain to you. Chop and change your bait sizes, yeah? And if you're not sure with your link leisure, let it trip through a few times. Feed a different line. If you're getting bites, try and drop off the line where they're actually main line where you fed. Drop off of that. Don't necessarily, if their bites are being wary, they're getting a little bit on the munch, but they're a little bit in and out, flitting out, flitting out. That can mean they're holding on a different line and they're just being a bit spooky and they're coming out for a munch, back in again, coming out, back in again. Need to then, I feel, generally, and it works quite well for me, you vary the line, you go off of the main area where you fed, because they're being kind of edgy. And the bites have been edgy so far today. I mean, I haven't got fishing anyway until 2:30, due to me trying to find where I left my seat. But I can tell that they've been edgy, very edgy. It's high pressure. Sun's dipped a bit now, but it's been really, really sunny. And they can be really spooky. And that's why I say adapt your length that you're casting. But just because you feel a fish is in the area, don't always assume it's going to come to you. Don't always assume it's going to come to that line and length that you're fishing. Treat your link leisure like upside down trotting. Try different runs. Trust me, I might sound over the top when I make my videos. I might sound a daft bastard. I might sound naive and gullible at times, but I'm not being an arrogant arse, so I'm very humble about stuff. I know what I'm talking about. And the proof at times is in the catching. You always need a bit of luck, of course, as well. I always say it, you always need luck. But anyway, this is a cracking looking fish. And on a tough, chilly, sunny day, it's very welcome. There you go. How about that, guys? £5, 8 ounces. Absolute beauty. What a cracker. Look at that for a build. This one's munched a few crayfish. Happy days. What a beauty. Anyway, let's get it slipped back and let's crack on. Wonderful. It's a blooming swan. What I don't realise is he's trying to explain to me where I've left my blooming stool. Well, I'm all thoroughly packed up. That was a tricky trip, but as I said earlier on, with those fish and the bites have been wary, the easterly wind, it's just actually died down now, which is typical when you're packing up, isn't it, that it dies down. And that easterly breeze, wind, I would say breeze, but it was absolutely raw, bitter, and absolutely gnawing. You know, the kind where you start off fishing, you can't feel your hands, you feel like they'd swollen up and gone lobster. I did change one of my hooks which got blunt. I resharpen that when I get home, but I did change one of my hooks, and you know, your dexterity completely goes missing once your hands get to a certain level of cold. I've got to say, I felt like I was tying the hook on with a pair of boxing gloves. But yeah, still a very enjoyable trip, and nice to have those two fish. You know, it was a tricky trip. Their bites were wary, but what I was saying on the video there with those fish, it's those little percentages. There's a lot of nuance in getting fish to feed. There's a lot of nuance in getting bites that are wary to develop, and a good saying, a good adage would be, the devil is in the detail. And what I was saying, I'm honestly telling you the truth, those little feeding different lines and then running the bait through, not on the same line but away from that area, that can just pick you up a bite where they're ducking and diving, they're coming out and they're grabbing little bits and they're not really on the feed, or maybe they're a bit wary of the actual bait that's coming down the loose feed. Maybe they've had a bit of pressure, you don't know, or they're just not feeding that well and they're being a bit edgy, and so taking a different line, different length off of that area but still feeding in some bait. They can look at that loose piece of hook bait coming down and think, you know what, that looks safe, I'll grab that. That, coupled with dislodging the bait, you know, just pulling it away from the fish, can cause them to grab at it as well. And it all sounds very eccentric, doesn't it? But sometimes it can be like that. It can, as I say, be very nuanced. And those little things, those little 1%, those little 5% on tough trips, they can be the difference and make the difference between you having a trip where you'll go home happy, or you having a trip where you've really had a grueler and you've not caught. And they can put an extra fish, or even a fish when it's tough fishing, on the end of your rod and in your landing net. So I do hope that what I said earlier when I had that lovely 5+, which was a nice fish, really nice fish, but I hope that rings true with you guys. I really do know what I'm saying with regards to trying different bait sizes, chopping and changing how you run the hook bait through the swim, and sometimes keep it separate from the ground bait. So yeah, it's been tricky, but nice to have those two fish. To be fair, now the wind's dropped, it's coming up for around about 10 to 8. Now the wind's dropped, I would quite happily stay on to around about 9:30, 10 o'clock if I could. But I've got to be honest with you guys, I haven't got a flask of tea since I've been down here. And most sensible anglers do take a flask of tea with them, don't they? Old Muggins here has bought a lovely bottle of Robinson squash. Yeah, very clever. Very clever indeed. Cold easterly and a bottle of squash mark. And add to it, I haven't found my stool, so I don't know where that is, guys. And that put a bit of a dull kind of beginning on the fishing, because I spent about 2 hours looking about for it. And the crazy thing is, I got to my first swim and I thought, well, I haven't got it on me, it's got to be in this swim, and it wasn't there. So I spent the best part of 2 hours looking around like a headless bloody chicken. You know, I can't find it. Maybe, who knows, I'm nearly 46, maybe senility's kicking in, I don't know. Maybe, you know, come one day I'll head out fishing, my mum will say, where you going? And I'll say, why? I'm going fishing. And she'll turn around and say, well, you've got your birthday suit on. You know, who knows where we're headed? I don't know, I can't find it. So maybe I didn't bring it. Well, I'm sure I had it. I'll tell you what, if I do find it at home, I'm going to give myself a good rollicking. Anyway guys, I'm waffling. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope the advice I've tried to give when it's been tricky, when it's been hard going, you know, you've put to some use and put it into motion, because it really does make a difference. Anyway, I am frozen. I'm heading off home for a nice cup of tea or coffee or something hot. And yeah, it was nice to get those two fish, especially as well that larger one, that 5+ was gorgeous fish. Anyway, I'm waffling. Wherever you're fishing, wherever you're wetting a line, I hope you're getting a good crack of the whip. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you for your support with the channel, with your taking the time to comment, watch the videos. It's always appreciated by me. And also a big thanks to those of you who bought me a coffee to help support the channel. God bless you all. And I really do mean that. Yeah. Till my next video. This has been Mark from Fishing for Memories, signing off. Peace out.